I'll never forget the first time one of my teachers recommended that I listen to Harold Wright. And I found his Mozart Concerto with Seiji Ozawa on iTunes. And at the time, I had been listening to Sabina Meyer's recording, which is a very fine recording. And obviously, she's one of the best players in the world today. I didn't understand what was so great about Harold Wright. Then I listened to his Rossini live introduction, theme, and variations. Okay, then I really understood. There is this pop and crisp energy to the performance that just I never heard anyone sound like that before. And then obviously not since, but you know, there are certainly some players in the past that had a little bit more of that sound, such as Bonad and McLean and a few others. But as I would listen more to the Harold Wright Mozart, it became harder for me to listen to, you know, almost any other recording other than, of course, the Marcellus recording. And I wondered why that was, and I wondered why I eventually became totally won over, and to this day I can't really listen to a lot of the great trendy clarinet soloists around today. No offense to them, but one thing that I think has helped me is when I listen to Harold Wright, you can imagine the orchestra around him as he plays, and you can hear the tone, you can hear the sound soaring above. If you just in your mind's ear add the orchestra, the sound rises above. And so many other players that might have a really great sound up close in a recording booth, you add the orchestra and it's dull. Now, that's not to say that there aren't wonderful soloists, but I think it's like it. I was listening to like great trumpet soloists, and oftentimes the really great principal player, when in a soloistic setting, has something above even the great soloists. Maybe not on a technique level, maybe not even on an artistry level, but in terms of what the instrument can do when it's pushed to that limit, when it faces that gauntlet of having to soar above an orchestra. You know, great violin soloists, what do they have to do? They have to soar above an orchestra. That's why Stradivari are so prized. So I guess that's my advice. If you're listening to a clarinet soloist that perhaps people are praising today or in the past, just add an orchestra. Not with a microphone, not with artificial amplification. Just does their tone have enough energy to soar above? I think it really quickly separates what, again, that extremely difficult thing this instrument is really not designed to do. And it really allows, from a pedagogical standpoint, those players that have enough efficiency to do that automatically, well, I think that's a safer bet to think about those players in a concept in terms of emulation, just for longevity of one's career.